Hi, my name is Tiffany, and I've been coming to Lighthouse for about 7.5 months now. I'm married and I have 2 sons, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. I was raised in a Jewish home. I was very reformed, and the idea of God was not a personal relationship. I knew He was my creator. I knew how to say the memorized prayers. I did not know that it was possible to have a relationship with Him, and I always craved that. I always knew that there was more than that, that there was something that created my soul, and something that my spirit just craved to have a super close connection with. I also grew up in a lot of trauma. I had a very mentally ill mom who was also an addict and an alcoholic, and was dealt with a lot of abuse. So I went into a lot of hiding. I got really good at trying to make people love me or like me or be accepted. So as I got older, I got really good at pushing all of that down, and became completely distant from any of my emotions whatsoever, because I didn't think that there was any room for it. And during that time, I craved knowing a God even more. As I got older, my dad actually remarried after my parents got divorced, and remarried a Christian woman. So Jesus Christ was brought to my attention at that time. I didn't understand much about that, coming from an already religious home that was so different. The idea of Jesus and the Son of God and communion, all of it felt very foreign to me. But I did go to a Christian school, and I started to learn about it, and I wanted it. I knew there was something there for me, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So as I got older, I got married, I had kids. I had gone through a lot of trauma before I got married. My mom had passed away from suicide, and so I got a little deeper into putting on a happy face, and I got really good at just smiling through the pain. And a lot of times, churches that I had gone to, it seemed like that was kind of what you had to do. There wasn't much room for authenticity. There wasn't much room to come forward and come as I was, with the questions I had, with the doubts that I might have, with, where was God during these times in my life? How do I know He's real? Like, I'm reading this in my Bible, but how do I know? Like, how do I transfer that into my soul? Like, I can maybe think of it in my brain, and I'm a skeptic. I want to feel it. There wasn't much room for those questions. So for me, when I noticed that I really, really fully said yes to Jesus and said yes to the Holy Spirit in my life and in my heart, it actually took full brokenness. It took me being 100% ready, willing, and able, which looked like complete brokenness. I needed to be able to say that I couldn't do it on my own, that pretending wasn't enough, and that going through the motions wasn't real, and it was misleading my family, my children. I'm trying to tell my kids what it means, but I'm not doing it. I'm not mirroring it. And so for me, it was out of desperation, because it was a bit of a life or death situation for me. And I got on my knees and I just said, God, use me. Like, use me. Show yourself to me, however that looks. I was ready to be okay with it looking ugly. Whatever it needed to be, I wanted it. And so when I really, really did that, the Lord lined up ways it felt very clear for me to walk in. And it wasn't pretty, and it wasn't rehearsed, and it wasn't pretend. It was real, and it hurt, and people saw my pain, and it forced me to be able to allow God into all of the nooks and crannies and the darkness of my sin, of my soul, everything that I had kept hidden, because my shame cycle was just going all the time. The self-hatred, the shame, the anxiety, the depression, I'm not enough, all of that. And when I did that, I knew and realized, God has seen all of this anyways. And I wanted to be angry, and I wanted to yell, and where were you? And then I realized God's saying, I'm big enough for that. And so when we started coming to Lighthouse, I had already made the decision to walk with Jesus. I was walking, I wasn't running. But I came here and found the ability to run. I came here and saw that not only can I be who I am in my pain and shame and brokenness, but I can also come with my authentic, real joy. That is a little bit of my story. It's exciting, it's still going, and I'm just so excited to see what God's going to continue to do in my life, and I get unbelievably excited to see what God does in other people's lives. And you just stick it out in the journey. You just stay in it because you have no idea what it's going to be, and it's going to be a wild ride, but it is worth it.